At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week's edition of the program, we'll be focusing on the just concluded 5th Delegate Conference of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. We also have news stories for you. We will be right back. It all started in July 2020 when the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria held its 4th Delegate Conference in Abuja. On the 22nd of February 2021, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, arrested and detained Innocent Bola Audu barely a year into his tenure as the President of the Union. He was arrested over an allegation that he was involved in human trafficking and exploitation of vulnerable persons.
Solidarity forever.
Following his arrest, the Central Working Committee of the Union held a meeting and agreed that Bola Audu should step down as president until the matter is resolved by the courts. But Bola Audu expressed his displeasure with the decision by attacking the National Secretariat of the Union in Lagos. Following that, the Union accused him of anti-union activities. At the National Executive Council meeting of the Union on the 9th of March 2021, members expelled him from the Union based on the guidelines of the Union's constitution.
They caught the cabinet.
The cabinet was caught.
Even the money has been stolen.
Bola Audu Innocent is an expelled member of the association. That the matter of criminal diversion of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria check-off dues by Bola Audu Innocent is still being investigated by the FCT Police Command, Abuja. In view of the foregoing, the meeting resolved as follows. 1. That the outcome of the prosecution of Bola Audu Innocent and 3 others by NATIP has no effect whatsoever on the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, as the union was not a party to the court processes. 2. That Bola Audu Innocent remains expelled from the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria.
Subsequently, the National Executive Council elected Etim Okon to replace Bola Audu as the President of the Union. Between March 2021 and July 2024, the Union and Bola Audu were involved in a legal battle. But on the 9th of July 2024, the National Industrial Court of Nigeria sitting in Abuja virtually delivered a judgment reinstating Innocent Bola Audu as the President of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. Justice Oyewumi gave an order reinstating Bola Audu to his post as the substantive national president of the association till the completion of his tenure. However, security operatives prevented Bola Audu from gaining access to the secretariat in Abuja as the leadership of the union appealed the matter and obtained a stay of execution order on his reinstatement.
2 things we need to know is declaratory and it is injunctive. And so I had to inform the security agencies to give me to go to my office.
A signed document by the Secretary General of the Union, Joshua Akpebo, followed, which announced the completion of tenure of Innocent Bola Audu and Etim Okon as leaders of the Union. On the 11th of August 2024, Innocent Bola Audu announced via a signed statement that he had emerged as the President of the Union. The venue of his election was not made public, neither were there stakeholders in attendance and pictures. In another twist to the saga, Shehu Mohammed was elected as the new president of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria on the 12th of August 2024. Delivering his acceptance speech at the 5th Delegates Conference, Mohammed spoke about the state of the nation, the conference in session, and commended President Bola Tinubu for signing the National Minimum Wage Bill 2024 into law.
Mr. President has approved 70,000 as the new minimum wage in the country, even though it's against the wish of the organized labor, because while we're agitating for living wage, we are expected to have a wage that will be much more closer to a living wage. But all the same, we are grateful for that. The next move is to establish a committee that will address the consequential adjustment, and that is why the justice will be done based on the different grade levels we are having at both the state and the federal government. And until this is done, the implementation of the new national minimum wage will commence immediately.
Let me commend the President for signing the Minimum Wage Act into law. Our expectation is that under normal circumstances, once it's signed, the government is supposed to set up a tripartite committee for consequential adjustment, and that has not been done. But under normal circumstances, as government has not done it, the Joint Council is going to write to the Secretary of the Government of the Federation to constitute a committee for consequential adjustment, and we expect that latest by the end of this month we might have concluded it so that they will implement it in September. We also want to put it on notice that state governments now their allocation has increased, so they should also implement it without further delay.
The Registrar of Trade Union at the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment and other stakeholders made their submissions during the conference.
We have come this morning, one, to know or to be sure that this meeting is actually held, and to also be sure that in convening this meeting, the right delegates are in attendance.
Let's not refer, there is no other national delegate conference of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. So it's very easy. I send picture and send a small note to my friends in the fringes of the media to do reportage. Let's not refer to that whatsoever, because what has happened, there's nothing else that has happened outside what is happening here today. Trade union. This is not secular politics. We are here to work for our members. We are here to defend the interests of our members. And nothing more. The Association of Senior Civil Servants is the largest affiliate of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. It should be about those who have elected us. Imagine your numbers, close to 1 million, cut across the nook and crannies of Nigeria. You are here carrying the burden of the larger membership. So in anything we do, we must continuously think about them and we must put them first. I say it again, be rest assured that the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria will give you the maximum support.
At the conference, the Congress urges the federal government to set up a committee to work out the consequential adjustment arising from the new National Minimum Wage Act. Delegates were drawn from various organs of the union, including units, branches, and chapters across the country. Delegates at the conference declared the purported re-election of Bola Audu as null and declared a new dawn for the union. It should be noted that Bola Audu has been discharged and acquitted of the human trafficking allegation by an Abuja High Court, but NAPTIP appealed the judgment.
I think the NEC was fully represented. Everybody that mattered from the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, they were all there. And the registrar of the trade union, he was also there to witness and also give credibility and legality to what was done. And I think at the end of the day, if your crew were there, they were sworn in by a registered legal practitioner. So I think legally on the right course, and it was a huge success. No rancor, no disagreements.
It has been a very successful delegate conference because it has the presence of even the national president of the Trade Union Congress, which the Association of Civil Servant has been an athlete. And across the nation, 36 states, including Abuja's delegates, were all here. So I can say it's a very successful delegate conference.
It was highly successful, highly interesting, and highly cooperative because almost all the states were here. And it shows the level of unity in the association. And it's very impressive one that everybody key into the process of the delegate conference.
On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the newly elected president of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Shehu Mohammed, and his executives bring to fore what workers should be expecting from the new executive. It's good to have you on the program.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the election. The 5th Delegate Conference of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria elected you as the president and some others to serve for the next few years. Can you bring us up to speed on what members should be expecting from you as a leader, and what more would you be bringing to the table?
Thank you very much, Sharon, for having me. As you are aware, the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria is one organ that is very, very formidable when it comes to quality of trade unions in the country. 29th of July 2024, the outgone administration came to an end. And you know, there's no how you can create a vacuum. The union doesn't allow that. So a proper delegate conference was organized, and I emerged as the president of the association alongside my executives, or the executives of the union.
So what should workers be expecting from your administration? Well,
as you know, trade union is all about ensuring the well-being of members in terms of enhanced conducive atmosphere with which they are going to work, and enhancing their purchasing power in terms of good remuneration at the end of the month. So this is what we are going to is going to be our first priority, and then while we continue in making sure that the well-being of Nigerian workers is taken to the next level, considering the hardship in the country and the economic realities on the ground.
The last administration of the union leadership was first started by Mr. Bola Audu Innocent, and it was the tenure expiration ended with Mr. Etim Okon. Can you bring us up to speed on what transpired?
Yes, Bola Audu, alongside some other members of the team, which I am part of it, inclusive of the immediate past president, Etim Okon, who were unanimously elected to serve for a period of 4 years. That is from 29th of July 2020 to 29th of July 2024. Within the period after the conference, something very sad happened that has to do with child trafficking and vulnerables, which the NAPTIV caught the then president, Bola Abdu. He was arrested and detained, and unfortunately, when the arrest came, the officials of the NAPTIV and the security officials came to the office while he's holding a meeting with some executives in his office. So he was handcuffed and taken away. So based on that, the union having to be a platform where senior workers
members of the platform. And you know, it's not going to be possible for you to be parading yourself as member of the union with your leader being arrested on such kind of offense, which has to do offense that go around the country, and even it has international relation, child trafficking. So we decided that if this happened, Comrade Bola Abdu step aside so that to see what is going to happen. If you have been able to exonerate yourself from the claim by the NAPTIP, good and fine. You can come back. We now go before the public that it was a kind of setup or whatever it's going to be. But it seems he is not comfortable with that. But the organ insisted that he has to step aside. So, and within the period, because he has four vice president, we decided to nominate one of them, who is Comrade Tobio Timokong, to come on board to act as acting president, pending the termination of his case by NAPTIP. The CWC is not the final decision-making body of the association. We decide, and then we have to present it before the larger house, which is the NEC, to approve. Because as CWC, we don't have the approval power in terms of decision that has to do with the association. So after that, we now call the NEC, comprising of the 36 state branch chairman and the 35 chapter chairman, and the representation across the over 1,000 units we're having. We met, and the matter was exhausted, and at the end of the day, the NEC endorsed the acting of Comrade Etim as the president of the association officially, and that since then he's the president until when the matter with Bola has been exhausted. But in between the periods, he displayed a lot of anti-union activities, which has to do with inviting talks to come to the secretariat and catered away some valuables, destroy some items, you know, which is the least we expect from somebody who happens to be a president of a union. So based on that, the organs met again and decided to suspend him based on the anti-union activities he committed. Right
now, what you're trying to tell us now is that the matter is still in court, that the child trafficking case is still in court, or what's the information that the union has as regards the first reason why Bola Audu was told to step down from office? And aside that, you also mentioned the issue of anti-union activities. The judge, there was a judge in Abuja via Zoom that delivered a judgment saying he should complete his tenure, which was to end July 29th, 2024. So vis-a-vis these scenarios, what has been the feedback from members? How are they feeling about this development? And what more do you have to say about the information that the union has as regards the human trafficking case?
Well, as I said earlier, the genesis of his problem is that of the NAPTIP, which is still in the court, because he has not been exonerated up to this time. Then the anti-union activities also triggered the organs of the unions to take drastic action against him. And the ruling delivered by the NIC, we are Nigerians. We are not under the military regime. Once a ruling is delivered and is not in consonant with the real interests of the members, you are at liberty to appeal. So when the ruling came, we appealed the matter and we apply for stay of execution, and that is final. So until when the appeal court determine the case, either to be in her favor or in his favor, then the next line of action will be the same. But for him now to be parading himself as president is something that is impersonation. And I'm even using this medium to advise him to stop doing that but to even invite the security agencies to know that this person is impersonating in the interest of the general public, he should be arrested and be dealt with, because your outfit attended the program, the delegate conference that was conducted yesterday.
Moving forward, now that it's a new dawn for senior workers in Nigeria, and there are lots of activities that affect workers right now on the table. And personally, this is almost like a distraction. As the new elected leader, what will be your marching order towards ensuring that everyone speaks with one voice, so at the end of the day, the workers and the system wins?
Well, you know, as I was told earlier, Association of Senior Servants of Nigeria is one union that can never be distracted by any person. So there is not going to be any distraction. We are all intact. As I told you, the organs, both the NEC, the CWC, and the unit are all under the leadership of our CWC, being headed by me as the president of the association. I have all it takes in terms of being the real owners of the union to operate. I'm in the custody of the certificates of registration of the union, and that gives us the liberty to operate in Nigeria. If you say that he's the president, why is the certificate of the association? So he has none. Today he cannot mention a chairman either of the branch or chapter that he aligned himself with his so-called presidency of the association. So he's just a minority.
As a labor reporter, I know the role that the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria plays towards ensuring a successful implementation of the consequential adjustment that would arise from the approval of the new national minimum wage. Would you want to shed more light on what would be your expectations, what the association will be doing to ensure that in good time workers start to enjoy not just the minimum wage but the consequential adjustment which senior workers will be expecting?
Yeah, thank you very much. We have been doing this for quite a long time. The first stage is the approval of the President of the Federal Republic of 70,000 as the new minimum wage, even though that is not our expectation. And then the second step of it is to have a committee that will now discuss and arrive at a consequential adjustment before the implementation of the minimum wage. We are waiting for this to come from the office of the head of service of the Federation, or the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, the committees. We are going to start the process of approaching the relevant agency that is saddled with the responsibility of constituting the committee to work out the modality for the implementation of the minimum wage, because it's high time. People are expecting this implementation to commence immediately because of the situation we are facing in the country. So our first priority is doing the nitty-gritty to ensure that the minimum wage reach out to the affected public servants across the country with immediate effect.
Some state governors have announced that they might not be able to pay the national minimum wage. Do you have any comments on this? What should they be focusing on, especially at a time when the federal government has announced to the public that they are sending more money as federal allocation than what they used to actually receive before now?
Well, we will not waste time on this, but just our message to them, to those governors, is that it's impossible and it's unacceptable. We are not going to accept anything short of that 70,000. Whoever will be the state governor that is not going to pay, then he should be ready to leave that position as governor of the state. Because you cannot just be sitting as a governor, receiving a huge amount of money at the end of the month, a salary, and then allowing the civil servant in the state to be wallowing in poverty. It's not possible. We are not going to accept that. There's going to be entirely different approach to this 70,000 minimum wage. In the past, some states have not been able to do the nitty-gritty by implementing the 30,000 naira minimum wage. But I'm assuring you, this time around, it's not going to be a tea party. The state governors must implement this. We are not going to accept anything short of that 70,000. The union is ready to do whatever possible within the ambit of the law to make sure that the implementation of 70,000 naira minimum wage is being implemented across the 36 states of the Federation and the federal government.
Thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure to have you. Thank you.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.
Akiwande Oluwole Soyinka was born on 13th July 1934 in Abeokuta, Nigeria to parents Samuel and Grace Soyinka. His education began with the Christian lessons of his parents as well as the more traditional Yoruba spiritual customs taught to him by his grandfather. He had his preparatory university studies at Government College Ibadan in 1954, subsequently University College Ibadan, and he continued at the University of Leeds, earned a bachelor's degree in English literature. Soyinka's master's degree focused on projects combining his Yoruba culture with traditional British theatre traditions. He later returned to school in Nigeria to study African theatre, during which time he continued to produce poems and plays, one of which appeared on Nigerian television. Shortly after, he became the chief of the Cathedral of Drama at the University of Ibadan. Nigeria had only recently gained independence from Britain and political corruption was at a high. Soyinka's plays and poems became increasingly political and he began giving speeches protesting government corruption. He was accused of conspiring with the Biafra rebels. He was therefore arrested and imprisoned in 1967 for almost 2 years.